And we are now live. Так, just let me talk to them for a minute. Мы начинаем наш прямой эфир. Ну, давайте сейчас дождемся, кто присоединяется. Вы нам, пожалуйста, скажите. Вот мы тут обсуждаем. Настя, я вижу, уже присоединилась. Настя, вот ты точно ответишь. Ага, Маша, да. Вот скажите, девочки, как, и мальчики, как видно, вот если мы так, если мы горизонтально, то вам нормально нас смотреть горизонтально? Потому что вопросы все заранее уже присылали, вопросы все у нас есть, Franie даже их распечатала и готова подсматривать немножечко туда. Ну, то есть вам не сложно, да, то, что мы в горизонтальном виде? Все видно и все слышно. Хорошо. Хорошо, все видно и все слышно. Okay, so they say it's fine. So we can leave it like this. Okay, and we are going to start. Ага, все видно, хорошо видно. So let's start with Franie. This is Franie.
Hello.
She's my fellow teacher from CELTA.
Yes.
That's where we met. And today we are going to speak about everything British.
Yes.
The first question was about your, is it accent, dialect?
So accent is the way I speak individually. I think a dialect is the different accents of the part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say I've got quite a standard neutral English accent. They not quite received pronunciation. For those who don't know, received pronunciation is basically the posh accent.
Yeah, the Queen's English.
Yes, the Queen's English. I'd say I'm sometimes received pronunciation.
Why? Why do you change?
So I'm originally from Essex, which is a very estery English. It's got a very strong accent. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of Essex.
Well,
it's very,
I hope so.
very, all right, darling, just get my nails done, my fake tan, and like apples and pears, you know, the Cockney English, London. So when I'm angry or if I've had a couple of glasses of wine, it might sound very like that. But also I grew up near Bristol, which is the West Country accent. It's very the typical farmer accent, I would say. So, all right, my lover, do you want to get a cider at the pub? Like
I see. So can you say that you are trying to sound more posh?
Not trying. I think
like...
from my background, my father's quite well spoken, so is my stepfather. My mother's very Essex, so I think I sometimes switch depending on my mood or who I'm talking to.
So anyway, you always get influenced by people around you.
Yes.
You know this with Meghan Markl.
Yes.
We are going to discuss her later. Some people are saying now that she switched to British accent very fast.
Yes.
And they are not very happy with this. I don't know why.
I think when you're surrounded, she's so surrounded by this new life, it's completely different. And especially when you've got so much pressure from the British public or from the whole world, I think you can pick up an accent very easily in that way when you're so immersed in a certain accent. For example, if you spent a year away in Australia, you might have a little twang of a few words.
Yeah.
But I think it's very understandable that she's picked up. I don't think she's faking it either. Maybe she's
not on
putting on a front to become more Queen's English, but
why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I think it's
minds. Okay, so this is about you. Now about us. Okay. What do you think about our accent, Russian accent?
Well, the Russian language and the English language are very different.
That's
so
true.
It's very hard to get the perfect English accent, especially because, I think the Russian language has about 6 to 8 vowel sounds, is it?
6 to 8?
6 to 8.
6 to 8, yes.
So about 8 vowel sounds?
It's a good question. Yes, I think so.
It's around then. We'll do a little research.
Don't ask me how many letters we have, okay?
No, I bet.
Don't do this.
And the English language has around, I think it's like 16.
Yeah.
A lot, you know, so
more.
A lot more. So for example, the word hut and heart to me sounds very different, but I think for you, you're very for Russians, you found it very hard to create a long vowel sound.
Yeah.
So it would be very like hut, hut. It
Yeah,
sounds very
don't
similar.
see no difference.
Yeah, so I think that's a big struggle for Russians learning English because of the vowel sounds. Also, it's a very high context language,
Yeah.
Russian. So the English language has like one word, whereas the Russian language would have 10 words for that one word.
Well, maybe, but English words have a lot of meanings.
Yes.
On the other hand.
But I think it might be easier maybe for the Russians to express themselves
Yeah,
with their
maybe.
language.
Maybe.
I think it's a debate you could have, but I think it's very hard to get the perfect English accent when the languages are so different.
Yeah, maybe. But what do you think when people speak with maybe not Russian accent, maybe with another accent? Do you, I don't know, do you mind? What do you feel about people speaking English as a native speaker?
I think it's amazing. I think nearly, if I meet a Russian, they're always very good at English. Maybe that's a generalisation, but you try so hard. And I think it's wrong for me, where learning another language, English people can be very lazy. So I think we appreciate people that can speak amazing English.
Yeah,
so.
It's great for us because I know that a lot of Russian speakers are very shy about their
Yes.
accent and their English in general. So if they hear some praise and some encouragement, it means a lot.
I know. I think it's amazing. The Russian, it has a very distinct accent, isn't it? You get a lot of those stereotypes and things like that. So I understand why people would feel, why me?
Yeah.
but
now we know it's okay.
Yes.
We'll keep on speaking. Okay, there was a very interesting question from someone online. Is it polite to speak to a British person trying a British accent? So do you mind this? If a person is trying to speak very posh or the received pronunciation, using the received pronunciation.
I think you can, when it sounds like you're trying, but if it sounds like you're trying to mock them.
Yeah, so it depends on the context.
Yeah, I think it depends on the context. I think it's very easy if you were to speak to someone with received pronunciation to try and copy because it's good, because you're trying to learn the how to sound like a native speaker. So I don't think it's rude. I think if it comes across as I'm trying to mock you and trying to copy,
it's always very rude to mock.
It can be quite. Are you doing that to make a joke, or are you doing that to? So there can be a very thin line. Between.
Well, anyway, it depends on the person you're speaking to.
Exactly. Maybe when you meet them for the first time, just try your very best to speak freely how you would like. And if your accent becomes very posh, then I think it's pretty good because you're developing your English. So.
Yeah, and you are trying, so anyway, it's good. Okay, let me check if we have any more questions here and if everything is all right. Okay, people say we have 10 vowels. I don't know. Actually, I have to Google it. In Russian, 10 vowel sounds.
Oh, 10.
I don't know. We'll check it later. Okay, so we've been speaking about small talk in my blog. Tell me about small talk. How did it happen? Why British people like small talk so much?
We like to be overly polite, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. I think we originally use it to break the ice, which is an idiom for starting a conversation, getting to know somebody. It's not necessarily, I want to talk about the weather. It's about
sports,
getting the reply from the other person, and then who knows where the conversation will lead.
But will it go? If you meet someone, if it's a complete stranger, and you start a small talk, when do you stop?
I don't think small talk should last for too long. It's more of a to show that you are willing to talk to somebody. And if somebody reply, I think it's quite interesting because if you spoke about the weather and said, "Oh, it's a lovely day today," and someone said, "Yeah, it's lovely," blah blah blah, it gives off the vibe that they want to carry on speaking to you. Whereas if somebody said, "No, it's it's too hot and I don't like it.
So you have to agree.
It's kind of, it's used to sort of get the gist of the other speaker.
And then you can ask further questions like, where are you from? What are you doing here? How do you know the host, etc.
Yes, so I'd say small talk is quite...
checking the ground.
Yes.
Something like this.
And if they sort of don't really converse with you and it's quite hard to get conversation, then I'd maybe stop.
But does it happen? In Britain especially.
Then it's quite an awkward silence and you just get back to reading your book. So I think it's more of you have to try it to understand when to stop different scenarios. But I think small talk can be about anything, just as long as you know it's to do with their interests. So if you sort of the weather is the typical thing.
Always.
Yeah. I always talk about the weather. I don't know why. And you're like, why did I just always? The news, entertainment. Did you see what happened last night on this? Because you might know, it might not be a stranger. It could just be a friend that's not very close. But did you see what happened on EastEnders last night?
But anyway, you should be very polite and neutral, right?
Yes.
So you can say, oh, I hate Trump. It's not like this. You
no,
don't go into these details.
No, because you do not know
what the person thinks.
That will turn into big talk.
Yeah, very big and not very nice. Okay, yes, people are checking the vowel sounds. 10 vowels.
I should have researched this.
Yeah, I should have done this before. Okay, let's get to, foreign languages. Do you speak any foreign languages?
Well, the British are very poor with learning a foreign language. I speak some German.
Mm-hmm. From school, right? You started at school.
My stepmother is German.
I see.
So my main influence was her. We're not. It's not necessary to learn a foreign language at school, but we're encouraged.
So it's not in the curriculum.
We're encouraged very strongly to take another language, but it's not. I'm not sure if it's changed recently that you have to take something, a language, but it's not as forced.
I see, because we usually have one language from the 5th grade, and it's compulsory. It's
so GCSE,
part of the curriculum.
which is
it's like a state exam. We have the same.
Yes, I think you have to take a GCSE, but when it comes to A levels, which is to decide if you want to go to university and blah blah blah, you're encouraged to take another language, but it's not enforced.
Mm-hmm. And what language is it usually?
French, Spanish, and sometimes German.
I see.
Not
French,
strongly.
Spanish, no Chinese, no Japanese.
We had one lesson once on the Mandarin, and everyone was scared.
I can understand it.
No, I wish that it was more of a big deal, because I think it's embarrassing when you go to another country and you can't speak at least their language.
Well, you can't speak after one lesson anyway.
No, so...
Especially Mandarin.
Yes.
It's a bit too difficult.
I think when I like to make the effort to learn the conversational language. So living in Cyprus, I've tried to learn how to say, ordering my coffee, please, thank you, where is the toilet,
So,
things like
did
that.
you speak to the Cypriots in Greek?
Sometimes.
The problem is that they start answering you.
Yes,
and
in
then
English.
you don't know the phrases to answer them.
Yes.
So you can say hello, and then they speak to you in full Greek sentences.
And then you go, no, that's it. That's all I know.
I didn't mean it. Okay. And how are you taught foreign languages at school? Is it something like we were taught at CELTA?
No, it's more
academic.
The way I remember it was very relaxed.
Really?
So when you had to take a language, everyone was quite young. So you had people that took it very seriously and people that were very relaxed, depending on the language, if they liked it or not, and the teachers. I think the teachers were quite good. It ranged. But I think if I liked my Spanish teachers a bit more, I would have made that gone
it always
further. It's always the influence on the teacher. But I think it's quite relaxed language learning at school. I wouldn't say it was very academic.
And when people graduate, can they communicate? Can they speak?
Yes, I think if you go to university and you study a language, that is amazing. And I have a friend who's studying German and French in one degree at university, and he's amazing. And also my friend who's doing a Spanish degree. So it's very popular learning languages, but in general, English people aren't very good at learning being fluent in another language.
I see, just some phrases to
Yes,
some basic knowledge. I see. Okay, people say that now in Russia they want to make us have 2 foreign languages. I don't know. I had 2, but I was at school with what is it, like language school. So we had 2 languages anyway from the 5th grade.
And what were the 2 languages?
English and German.
Oh, okay.
But now I don't know anything in German. And in my university I also had French, but now I forgot it. It's always with languages like this. If you stop practicing, you just forget it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what else? Now you are going to the university.
Yes.
This autumn. What are you going to do there?
I'm going to Bristol to study English language and linguistics. I'm decided that university was a good way to go. I think when I first left school, I tried to do things myself. I like to explore the world a little bit and try out different things. And then I decided I keep hitting a wall with what I can do with my skills, and I want to learn more. So I'm going to study linguistics.
Are you going to work?
Yes.
Just study?
Well, I'm hoping. I've been teaching English privately in Cyprus, and I'm moving it onto Skype, so through the internet.
It's a good idea.
So I don't want to stop teaching as I learn, and I will get better and more better as I learn. But yeah, I'm not going to stop teaching.
Yeah.
I love teaching.
Well, good for you. You can study and teach at the same time. So, at last, let's get to Meghan Markle. Why not? It's always a good idea. So, tell me, you did your CELTA assignment on her.
Yes.
Which one was it? About when you had to make up an exercise, a task?
Yeah,
right?
so you had to choose an authentic text.
Yeah, I did Harry Potter.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you had to choose an authentic text and then make activities as if you were teaching it to a classroom learning English.
Yeah, now I remember.
I chose it because it's got it's very comical. I know that everyone's a big fan of the royal family, and it's quite comical because it's on a newspaper called The Sun, which is a tabloid newspaper, very popular in the UK. And it was basically an article about what Meghan Markle can't do anymore because she's a part of the royal family.
Yes, there is a huge list, I think.
Yeah, so it's things like taking a selfie, wearing dark nail varnish.
And having social media.
Yes,
she can't have
any social media. She's not allowed to sign autographs or sign anything unless it's an official document.
Yeah.
And she cannot go to bed before the Queen when they're in the same castle.
So there is a warning around the castle. There is a signal when the Queen goes to bed.
Yes, or there's
and everyone can go to bed.
Yes, so I think it's quite. I found it quite comical because it's this is how Meghan's life is going to change, and I'm a big fan of the royal family as well, so it's very interesting.
And Meghan too.
Yes.
As I understand, the British people like her.
Yes,
right?
we respect her a lot. We like her. We love our royal family.
Yeah.
Our royal
family. Yeah, I know. Now I'm watching Doctor Who,
yes.
right? And they have some episodes about royal family, and there are some jokes about how the Brits like their royal family.
Yes, I think makes us feel quite patriotic, so proud of our country. When there's a royal event on, our Queen's sort of, she's never really stepped a foot wrong. She's never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And the younger royals are very good about being social, getting involved.
Doing a lot of charity.
Yes.
Right?
And also they've changed now. It's modern day.
Yeah.
And they seem to be more relaxed, which we like. They're more like genuine people. where I used to live in England, which is the countryside near Bristol. So it's all little pubs and fields, and it's beautiful. But I actually lived up the road from where Prince Charles lives in Highgrove. I never saw him. My stepdad and my parents always used to see him. And also in Luckington is a little village where I used to live. Meghan Markl and Prince Harry have just bought the Luckington Manor, which is their new house is in the countryside in a little village. So they're very genuine, down to earth. You know, people used to see Princess Diana in the supermarket, getting her in shopping and things like that. So I think we respect them in that way, that they're very, even though they're royals, they like to be on our level. So.
And how are you taught about them at school, for example? Do you have a separate history lesson about the history of Britain, the history of the royals?
Not so much. I learned.
Where do you get this information about them?
Mostly through the media, newspapers, social media. Also, my parents and my family, they think they say a lot about them. So not really at school. Maybe sometimes in an odd history lesson, but never about the royal family. A whole lesson on it, you know. We just learn it because we're surrounded by it in the media.
And about the other kings and queens, so you have a history of Britain, right?
Yes, we learn the history of Britain, but it's not very popular. Like, we like to learn more about
modern royals.
At school, more like the wars and things like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes bits of British history. But I learnt mostly about the royal family through the media.
I see. Because it's interesting. We have some royal families too. We have the Romanovs. Yes. Now there is a new TV series, by the way. Have you seen the trailer? It's a new BBC, I think. It's the BBC series. It's called The Romanovs, like about the family of the Romanovs.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. I will look. I'll look into it.
I have to check too. Okay, because I thought maybe there was a special lesson about the royals, where you learn all the royals, all the relatives, etc.
I never had that, and my friends didn't. But maybe, you know, sometimes, occasionally, we do have that.
But anyway, you like them.
Yes.
You like these royal stories. Okay. Royal family, and books, movies, TV series. What is popular now in Britain?
So popular now. I'm not quite sure about the popular books now, but there's always been the classics, the Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, and Jane Austen. Have you heard of Jane Austen?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so Jane Austen, Lord of the Rings, you know, things like that. The classics. And so that's on the book front. I'm not sure about the most popular at the moment, but you see people that reread all 8 Harry Potter books.
Yeah, you can do it every year, actually.
Yes,
why
people
not?
just reread it, and so do not get bored. Television programs or series?
Like series, yes.
Yes, well, Sherlock, I've heard that Russia's a big fan of Sherlock.
Huge fans of Sherlock. I'm not sure if it's Sherlock or Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, that's true.
I'm not sure. I think that's the second one. Yeah.
No, I do love Benedict.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
And, well, if you want a horrible, disgusting humour, The In-Betweeners.
The In-Betweeners. No, I have not seen
So it's basically about some young teenage boys who met every day at school, and they're very disgusting, basically. It's very dirty humour.
I think British humour is pretty dirty.
Yes. So,
and very sarcastic and dark sometimes, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like Bad Education. Have you watched it?
Bad Education, yes.
With Alfie Wickers, I only remember his name.
Jack Whitehall.
Yes, Jack Whitehall.
That's
and
very
he
good.
has a father who is always also a comedy actor.
Yes, he's the grumpy father.
A whole family. I see. And TV series, movies. What else are you watching?
Have you ever heard of Hot Fuzz?
No.
So Hot Fuzz is a British film. It's hilarious. to me. You might not find
I
it
have
funny.
to check it.
It's basically a comedy about police officers in a small village.
Is it with Simon Pegg?
Yes, they have the same
I heard about
accent
it.
as where I'm from. Not my accent, but the West Country accent.
Yeah, this
It's
one.
about a small village and they're trying to solve a mystery, and I find it hilarious.
I think everything where Simon Pegg is
Yes.
hilarious. And this second one, Nick Frost.
Yes,
right?
that's it.
Nick Frost. Yes, they are hilarious.
Maybe if you're learning, I'd put the subtitles on,
Yeah.
just because the accent's very strong.
And I think there is a lot of slang.
Yes,
and some
a lot of
jokes
slang.
that are.
But
very
if you want
difficult
to
understand.
develop your English, you can you watch it and you jot down any phrases you don't know, or you might have to watch it a couple of times to understand the
or
humour.
10 times.
But it's a good way to develop that side of English, because watching films, it reflects the typical humour and the phrases and things like that. So
And you see the country and
Yes.
the cities. Yes, it's very, very important if you want to learn a language. Also, do you follow any interesting people online on social media?
So a big thing in the UK is reality TV.
Like Love Island.
Yes, have you heard? Is Love Island?
Well, I read Glamour. I used to read it. Now it's closed.
Okay.
And Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
And they always, I don't quite understand. They have these jokes like they don't like Love Island. They are
Okay.
always a bit sarcastic about it.
Yes.
So I don't know. I haven't seen any episodes. I don't know if it's worth
It's one of those
watching.
things where it's so stupid, but it's so good. That's why we like
We
it.
have such a reality show.
Yes.
And everyone is saying, no, I don't watch it, but still knows
Yes.
what happens.
You know, my dad, he talks badly of it, but then he watches it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's basically a load of single people go onto this island. It's in Mallorca, in a villa, and they have to be in a couple to win.
I see.
And
Yes,
so
it's
throughout,
basically the same, but they go to, I don't know where, but to an island too.
Yes.
And they have to go on dates and
Yes.
become couples.
and there's a lot of drama, and everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And by the end, there's a winning couple who everyone, the public, really likes, and so I follow people from there.
I see. Okay, but as I can see on social media, English-speaking people don't usually write a lot, because if you saw my blog, you saw that I have a lot of words under the pictures, and
Yes.
in English, people don't write a lot.
No,
It's more about the pictures.
Yes, it's very, especially the type of, I think it depends on your purpose of social media. People that are social media influencers,
Yeah.
people from reality TV, they're very just the pictures, because it's about image,
Yeah.
how they look, the clothes they're wearing, things like that.
Makeup.
Yeah, I think if you're more of an educational purpose,
Yeah.
you have words, but it depends on the use. No one's really interested in seeing Charlotte
Huge
Crosby from Geordie Shore writing paragraphs. We just
Yeah.
like to watch what she's wearing and
Well,
what she's
that's
doing.
true. That's true. Okay, I also wanted, it is my personal question about Doctor Who. Now I'm hooked on Doctor
Okay.
Who. I'm a big fan now. And the question is, why do you like it for so long? It's been like 50 years,
Yes.
like from 56.
So the only time I really watch it, I used to watch it a lot years ago, but the only time now I watch it is at Christmas. We always have a Christmas special,
Christmas
and every
special.
year I want to watch it because it's always so good. The Doctors have also changed throughout the years.
It's 1963, the first one
Wow.
was 1963.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
that's crazy. I think it goes in, and I think it's never lost its popularity.
Yeah. Why? How does it happen?
I'm not sure. I think it's when it first started, it created this massive audience,
Yeah.
and they've stuck with them throughout.
But the audience is grandparents now. 63. Or
Yes.
parents at least.
Yes.
Or grandparents. And they still watch it.
Yeah.
And they have very young audience too.
Yes, I
like
think
our
there's a type,
generation and younger generation.
and I think once you've got a certain audience, then you're never going to lose them throughout the generations. So I only watch it at Christmas, and I completely right into it straight away.
Yeah.
So are you watching the new series, or are you watching?
Yes, I'm watching the first two. I've watched now the first season, and now I'm on season 2.
Ah, okay.
So it's David Tennant now, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
He's great,
Yes.
as usual. Okay, so what else? Let's see if we have some questions. У кого есть еще какие вопросы? Мы обсудили много всего британского. Про языки, да, мы поговорили 2 языка. Okay, there was one question about habits.
Habits.
Can you say that the British people are people of habits, creatures of habits?
Yes. That was one of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of and there's a lot of it. So you're
Okay, it takes time.
Let's end the video.
Yeah.
A lot of fillers.
Yeah.
And being
Like 5 o'clock
Indirect.
tea, you know.
oh,
or-
habits in daily life.
Yeah, something
Okay.
like this.
Yes, we like our tea. We're not quite. The food is a very big habit. We like takeaways.
Uh-huh.
We like to have fish and chips on the sofa. And,
Yeah.
But it's quite general.
Watching Doctor Who.
Yes.
Typical British.
I'm a
day.
big fan of soap operas, which is really big in which in-
British soap opera.
Yes. So soap operas are a reality. It's not reality. It's a TV show, and it's basically drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's always drama.
Can you give us a name?
So my favourite is EastEnders.
I know, yes, EastEnders.
I watch all the time. It's one of those things again. It's
also
so bad, but
endless.
it's so good.
But
yeah.
it's endless too. It's
Yes.
from 85.
Yes, it's been going on for a
1985.
while.
Yeah.
I think I've been watching it since I was about 7 years old
I
because
see.
my mum watched it.
And also there is Coronation Street.
Yeah,
I know.
Emmerdale, Hollyoaks.
Emmerdale, yes, I can see it.
Yeah, it's very
a huge
good.
list of endless TV shows.
Yes, and they're very popular in the UK. Everyone likes
I see.
TV in the UK.
Mhm.
Not everybody likes soap operas.
Yeah.
But you have
I
the
can
soap
figure.
opera awards
Yeah.
and stuff like this in the UK. So habits.
Is it true also that, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. Is it true that you have this license? You have to pay for Sky.
Yes.
Like Sky TV, it's like a subscription.
Yes, you need a television license to be able to watch Sky, or sort of watch things on BBC iPlayer, which is how you can watch BBC online.
It's online,
Yes.
so you need the internet too. So you
Yes.
pay both for the internet and for the subscription, or what is
Yes,
it?
it's
Like
more
license?
just you pay per year to be able to watch TV.
How much is it?
I can't remember. I need to actually
About-
apply when I
yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
So I need to look into that. I will get back
But
to you.
something like, I don't know, approximately. Is it more than £100?
Yes,
I
I'd
see.
say
Per year.
Yes, per year.
I see. It's interesting. So about the habits, and now you still have your 5 o'clock tea, or it's a bit old-fashioned?
Maybe it's a bit old-fashioned. My family used to have dinner quite late. That was mostly to do with having a little brother and sister. We wanted to put them to bed first
Yeah.
before. Maybe the traditional thing is having an early dinner, because you get things like in Cyprus, everyone has dinner really late. We like to when we first arrived in Cyprus, we would go out for dinner at about 7 o'clock, and it was dead, no one was there. And then about 11 o'clock,
Tell me
everyone
about
comes
that.
for dinner.
Yeah.
So maybe that is
Because it's
a
too
habit.
hot.
Yes.
It's too hot to have the dinner at 7 o'clock.
Whereas we don't have siestas, we don't have our afternoon naps because the weather is fine. We wake
Yeah.
up early, we work until 5, 6 o'clock, and then go home,
And watch telly.
watch telly,
Right.
have dinner, or go to the pub.
Yeah, I see.
So
And also, what do you think about Cyprus and the British people? What do they think? Because I see a lot of Brits here, and they are, well, it's like, it's not their first time here.
Yes,
It's obvious. They
yes.
usually come here. At
Yes.
the beach, I can see them. At
as
shops.
in tourists or people who live?
I don't know. We
So-
have a lot of British people here.
I think British people, younger people, love Ayia Napa.
Mm-hmm.
It's the holiday destination to go
Yeah.
crazy. English people like drinking
Yeah,
alcohol.
and go crazy.
So it's sort of the party island. To live, there's a few international companies where people move to work. So you get a lot of people moving to Cyprus and living.
But do they want to? If you say in Britain, if you say I'm moving to Cyprus, what do people answer?
It's a big deal, I think. Not everybody... Everyone gets quite cosy. Everyone likes England. I think you can see Cyprus or another country as a holiday destination, or having, if you're wealthy enough to have a house somewhere and go on
Like
holiday
a summer
there.
house.
Yeah. To live somewhere, I think it's quite a big deal. My mum, who also lives in Cyprus, my whole family do, nearly. It was a big deal. It was a very scary.
Yeah. So you don't like to leave the island, right? You like to stay
Yes, I
in
think.
your country.
Yeah, I think we like to travel.
Yeah.
English people, we don't like to stay, but to live somewhere, it's a big deal. It's sort of quite a scary thought.
Home sweet home.
Yes,
You always
yeah.
want to come back home. I see. Okay, let's some political questions. No, they are not political, but what do British people think about Russians nowadays? Because you know there is a lot on media and in newspapers and everywhere. Is there a general thinking about Russians? You know that in movies we are always the bad guys, right?
Yes, so
If you need a bad guy, it's
yes,
the Russians.
it's,
always.
yeah, there's stereotypes. I never hear. There's never discussions. There's never
Yeah, I hope
strong
so.
thoughts. Maybe the
Yeah.
media.
And how do people react? Because on American social media sometimes now I can see very sarcastic comments like, again, Russians are the bad guys, come on,
Yeah.
how long can we tolerate this?
Yes, I think the only way.
No one believes this anymore.
No, I think it's not quite. It's not as strong in the UK.
Yeah.
It's more of a comical stereotype
Yeah.
in films. You know, the Russian spies and stuff like that. But we don't think a lot of it. That's a general. I'm not quite sure.
So people do not gather and discuss the Russians?
Oh no.
I hope so.
And I'm not just saying that.
Yeah. Thank you for this great opportunity to improve my listening skills. Do you call it 5 o'clock tea or just tea? What time do you actually drink it? And how many times a day?
No,
Tell
I
me
do
the
love a
truth.
cup of tea.
So now on Doctor Who I see it a lot. A good cuppa can fix everything.
A good
right?
cuppa
Yeah.
can fix everything. So you see on especially in the television, something goes wrong and we'll just say, I'll put the kettle on.
Yeah, and have you watched Me Before You?
No.
There, she always said like a good cuppa can fix everything.
Yes, it's
So,
always
very
if
British.
someone's upset, you bring someone to your house,
Yeah.
you put the kettle on, you make them a cup of tea. I always find that if someone makes me a cup of tea, it's tasty. It feels like there's love
Yeah,
inside it.
yeah.
So it's a really nice thing to offer somebody a hot drink and bring it to them. It's that whole politeness thing. But yeah, I think I drink coffee more in Cyprus because there's coffee shops everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's too hot to have
And you
a
have to
hot
be
cup
awake.
of tea.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's difficult.
But in England, I think I have one in the morning, have one in the afternoon, maybe two, and then one in the evening sometimes.
And it's black tea.
No, you put the tea bag in, put the water in, and then you
milk.
put the milk. But you
Always.
wait for the tea bag to brew. You wait for the tea bag to brew for a little bit before you put the milk in. Otherwise, it
And do you
affects-
always put the milk in?
Yeah, I think I have herbal teas.
Yeah.
Like mint tea. What's the one I always have?
Something with mint, balm,
Yeah, like ginger tea.
ginger.
things
Yeah,
like that.
they have very nice
Chamomile
teas.
tea.
Chamomile here, yes.
Which you don't put milk in. But always the typical English breakfast tea is milk. And
So how does it start? You come to the kindergarten or to the nursery school and they give you tea with milk?
No, I think it's just everyone you're surrounded by drinks tea. It's just you get it offered at hotels. It's just the Queen drinks tea.
Yeah.
So it's ongoing trends to drink tea. Maybe herbal teas are more becoming a trend, and coffee, but the traditional thing is tea, and it's also hydrates you quite well. It makes you wakes you up a little bit, and
it has caffeine in, so it's like coffee. I think it's even stronger than coffee sometimes, black tea.
Maybe. I've always thought sort of throughout drinking tea that it didn't really affect me, but maybe because I've drunk so much.
Yeah. Okay, there are a lot of interesting and wonderful sites in Russia. We would be glad to meet you here. People are inviting you to Yakutia.
Oh, wow.
It's a bit cold there, but...
I've never been to Russia.
Yeah, you should come. Next year when I go back to Russia, you should come. I'll show you around.
Yeah,
we'll speak about it later. What about music, concerts? What do you listen to? Does everyone love Little Mix as I do? Oh, that's only me.
Yeah, I think Little Mix is quite popular. The pop music is very good. You know, we had the One Direction, the bigger bands. I'm a big fan of R&B music.
For example, British R&B.
British R&B. Sometimes you forget who's. Have you ever heard of grime music?
Grime.
It's a very big thing in England.
With I?
So, like Stormzy.
Yes, I know him because he had this song with Little Mix, which I'm a big fan of.
So,
yes, I see.
It's very typical.
It's a style.
It's a typical style.
Genre.
It's a typical genre of music that is very popular
from
in
London,
the UK.
actually.
Yes.
I
so it's
see.
very can be quite harsh.
Yeah, we have to listen to it and check if we like it.
Yes.
Okay.
But there are a lot of swear words, so.
But I think British
careful.
people like swearing.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes, it's
everywhere.
bad.
Anything you watch, anything you listen to, there is swearing.
We like to be polite, but we are also quite rude when we want to be. I think we find it the only way to express when we're angry or when we're excited. It can be used quite a lot.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay.
Ed Sheeran as well. I do love Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I think everyone loves him. And concerts? Do you go to concerts?
Yes, I've recently seen Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Really? Where?
In London.
In London.
When I went back to see my friends. Not British, but it's a good example of I love Beyonce.
Yeah,
so.
they're great. I want to go too. Next time when they
I've
have
seen
the
Ed
tour.
Sheeran. I went to Glastonbury Festival, which is...
You have a lot of festivals.
Yes,
I think.
Glastonbury
We have them in the students' books.
Yes.
We always have some British festivals.
We love festivals. It's just a big party. I think everyone likes a party. And Glastonbury is just humongous.
Yeah.
And so many good artists come to Glastonbury. So, has anyone been to Glastonbury?
Has anyone been to Glastonbury? Glastonbury. Tell us. What do you do, and which typically British TV series you would recommend to watch? Well, we've discussed British TV series. Maybe 15 minutes ago, I'll tell you.
I haven't watched it, but I know it's very popular. It's called Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
It's like a medieval, a period drama.
So now you know that not every British person watches Downton Abbey.
Yes, but it's very... I think I get scared to start series because once I get in there, I never stop and I don't get anything done. It's on my list.
Yeah.
It's on my list. Also, a series that I've watched is called This Country. Basically, you might not understand the humour because it's set in the West Country from where I'm from.
So you had to be there.
But it's a funny documentary, which is a mockumentary because they are taking the mickey out of them. It's just a typical how people act in the countryside, where they're closed, they're gossiping.
It's the guy from The Office.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No?
No, I don't think so.
It looks like him.
Curtin and Kerry.
No, he's a bit too young.
It's a very easy watch. Again, subtitles, because it might be quite hard to understand their accent.
Yeah. The accent and the jokes too.
Yes.
Because it's...
If you want to get more of an understanding of accents in England, dialects, there's different reality TV shows, like Towie, which is The Only Way is Essex. It's basically about a group of young
glamour
people, glamoured. They like their fake tan, shiny teeth, and they date and they gossip. Also Geordie Shore, which is the Geordie accent, Newcastle, very strong accents. It's all about partying. It's quite embarrassing. Made in Chelsea, which is the posh London accent, very about money and dating. It's just a very easy watch. You can understand the accent a little bit more.
And I don't think they discuss anything very important
no,
and serious.
It's very silly.
But it's a good practice.
Yes.
You can listen to them and they
to
have
understand
I think they have a lot
accents.
of small talk too.
Yes, a lot of small talk. That's all they do.
Good practice for small talk. Okay, if you have any more questions, let us know. Thank you very, very much for these wonderful conversations. Sorry, a lot of likes we have. So I think that's all. It's enough. It's been almost an hour.
Wow, that's gone quickly.
Yeah, and also if you want any online lessons with Franie, let me know. I'll give you her telephone number or your email. Right? Who calls nowadays? Do you call?
When I'm back in the UK, it will be more over email, but I have Skype, so we can have a Skype conversation or message over Skype.
No, I mean in general, in just
phone calls.
Yeah, do you call? Because I hate calls now. I don't know.
It's bad. I think
you can text everything.
Today's modern day, no one likes to have phone calls. I get quite nervous actually if you're doing something serious. Yeah. But I'm trying to make myself good at it. Have more phone calls because that's how something gets done quickly. Yeah, so.
Maybe. Okay, can you spell please the name of the series? Okay, we'll do it when I have the transcript of the video and you'll see the whole list of everything we've discussed today. Okay, so that's all. Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do it again then. Ну все, хорошо, всем спасибо. Значит, сейчас я это все закончу и сохраню. И сделаю вот так. Оп. Потому что иначе я боюсь промахнуться. Все, увидимся дальше с вами в постах. Как всегда, после прямого эфира с носителем будет расшифровка всего текста с переводом некоторых слов, чтобы вам было еще удобнее смотреть. Так что следите за обновлениями и обязательно подпишитесь на бесплатную рассылку, потому что именно туда все оповещения о видео загруженном, о загруженном скрипте, все будет загружаться именно туда. Thanks a lot. That was cool, people say. Спасибо.
Thank you.
Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.